Hey everyone, welcome back to the SBP Podcast Mobile Filmmaking. I'm your host, Susy Botello, and you're listening to episode 207 with Joey Min, Fade into Film, and we're hitting it now.
Ooh.
In comes the music, out comes the music.
We are Fade into Film.
Hey, Joey, how are you doing tonight?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just always working.
Yep.
Obviously.
It's what we give thanks for, to have things to work on.
To work on.
I was trying to figure out a way of bringing the whole Thanksgiving thing in there.
All right.
Which is tomorrow.
Yeah. Which is tomorrow. But I'm working.
Yep, but we're working on it. We're working on the turkey, Mom.
Right. I know we had this conversation before recording, but yeah, I know you were telling me that you make amazing turkey dinners. I've never had a good turkey dinner in my life. I have never had a good turkey meal.
You know, I am just so sorry about that, because I know you're not like 10 years old. And so to say in my entire life I've never had a turkey dinner that was good. I mean, you're specifically talking about the turkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that is the saddest thing.
I mean, which is funny. I mean, I do know, Michelin star chefs. Maybe I should ask them, hey, dude, show me like a good turkey.
Yeah,
dinner.
Show me the good turkey dinner.
Right. I'm sure they could just whip that shit up easy.
Well, just let me tell you that sometimes when you look at the food photography and stuff like that, right, that stuff just looks wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
So guess what we're going to talk about today, Joey? I have a question for you.
What's up?
Before I ask you this, I want to say to everyone that's listening, I know that on the last episode, Joey, you were talking about giving thanks.
Yes, we practice being thankful. Yeah. I'm forcing myself to learn that.
And I don't think I'll ever have it down, but I think, Joey, I think we should say thank you to everyone who's been listening to our yakking voices on the show.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah. Yes. It means the world that you come on here and you actually listen. But we do want to help you, and we hope that we're inspiring you and that we're making this a good resource for you, making movies with the phone. By the time this comes out, Thanksgiving will have been over, but I hope that everyone who celebrates it, enjoys the feast and the family and the friends and all of that. And for those who don't, just know that I am celebrating you for being a part of the community, being a storyteller, being alive, and putting out your grape. What is that?
My grape.
Your great smiling vibes into the world, because we need those sometimes.
I think everyone needs everyone to be smiling vibes.
Just the act of smiling actually is good for you.
Right.
It's like stretching.
Because
stretching feels like yawning in a way in your back.
I mean, and also supposedly you use actually less muscles to smile than you do to frown or something like that.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't know if that's real. But, well, the thing is, obviously, practice being grateful. I think that's definitely
a good message.
It's I think for us, especially now in this, in the current landscape of society, I think that I think practicing being thankful to remind yourself, that there are good things in your life. It's something, it might be inundated with all of the things that are happening around us. Right. So sometimes you just have to step back and just think hey, I'm thankful for this and I'm really happy. And, and thankful for the people around me too, just to say, hey, dude, thank you so much for doing this on my film or something, plus I'm paying you, what I mean? So, so it's it's the thank you. I'm also thankful that, I'm able to
pay people.
Right.
Yeah. That's And speaking of being thankful, and speaking of being grateful, and things we want, I think that's going to be our topic.
Being thankful.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, if I could ask you guys who are outside of the room, if I could ask our listeners, as a mobile filmmaker, what do you want for Christmas? Don't say my two front teeth.
Oh.
So what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for the holidays? Because there's like 100 different holidays involved in that. But what would you like to have? Joey, are you making a list? Are you checking it twice?
Actually, well, you're asking specifically for mobile filmmaking.
Well,
right?
There's a lot of back and forth between that. Like things, like for example, there's one example here, a microphone. Okay. We're talking about microphones. If I say I want a microphone and you're a mobile filmmaker, right? That's one specific kind of microphone, right? If you want it to go on your phone, but maybe you don't. So I totally get that. Why I'm saying for mobile filmmakers, because there is some gear that's more specialized for smartphones and for mobile filmmakers, to handle hand phone. Why didn't we call it hand phone? I guess all phones are hand phones.
I mean, handheld phones, right?
Like, I mean, what other kind of phone? All right, I'll just...
Smartphones.
I'm just asking one of those rhetorical type questions.
Yeah,
take a half hour to answer.
But in the advent of like smartphones, like we got rid of all the Nokias and stuff, and I love that shit.
Yeah.
Like the sidekicks, I like buttons. But anyways, that's not.
Yeah. So let's not go down there. All right. So all right. So what would be? I mean, okay. I know everybody wants a new phone, right? Or maybe you don't need it. Yeah. Maybe you don't want it. Maybe people are getting smarter than the phones. You don't always have to buy the new one each year. But
is it every year?
Every year a new phone comes out. Yep. At least for the iPhones. And
Because like I know, because like since say like iPhones, right?
Yeah.
Since I've only had an iPhone, so please don't hate me, Android users.
Nobody hate anyone, anyways.
But anyway, so like like I feel like a lot of the like using a smartphone to film something. A lot of the, I guess the upgrades are digital. Right. Yeah,
and there's other things that they do on the phone that require, the chips and things like that as well. There's other things other than cameras on the phone. Thank God, right?
Right. I mean, because now what with the new iPhone having there's like a log feature now when you record stuff and all these apps. Like, what else do you really need, right? Like, so now, are we talking about like? I guess for people,
mimosas, baby.
Like a full rig,
we need the mimosas.
Yeah, sure. Just all day, just day drinking while we were making films. But actually, what would have been so fun if we had Levi here.
I know.
For a person that made a full feature film, which guys you should check it out.
Not that he's the only one, considering this is like all the people, but still, yeah.
Yeah, but to be able to ask, like, hey, what are the biggest hurdles that you had? What would you have wanted to make your filmmaking a lot easier, right? On your feature film for process, something like that. I think that would have been a really cool question if he was here.
Okay.
For him, one day
I'm like putting my fingers into my temples. Hello, Levi, can you please come on here? We'll leave that for another time, and then Levi will come in. Hey, guys!
Right.
All right. That was a very bad Levi impersonation.
Oh, gosh.
So, all right. So outside of the phone itself, and that's the other thing, because depending on what things come out on the phone, That's less things we need externally that, will be replaced by something else because, capitalism has to capitulate.
Yeah, that's definitely
So
true. Right?
there's got to be, if there's no supply, there's no demand. But if there's no demand, someone will make one. We'll figure something out, right?
Right. Because because the thing is, I know this is not for well, maybe it could be, right? I guess, but I guess. Oh no, this is kind of weird. What I'm saying, I think it applies to all filmmaking.
Okay.
I feel like so. Like Edelkrone, right? That company that they make like tripods and dollies and stuff like that. I recently, or I guess it's been a while now, I've been wanting to get fully automated like dollies and sliders.
Oh yes.
Right. To just really also kind of limit for like small productions, right? Like I know they'll be useful for say it's for documentaries and interviews and whatnot, but I think having everything like very, very specific shots, that's that you could already position with like robots and
you
stuff.
can pinpoint each position that it'll be on when it takes the turn or whatever. Yeah.
It would help. It would help.
There are things like that.
Yeah. So I think that's what I want. If Steph here says like, Steph, I really want automated tripods and sliders and dollies and stuff. So,
Okay.
She won't say yes, but
she won't say yes.
Well, not now. I think in the future, once we have like another project that would really need it.
Okay. About the Scarecrow movie that you're making.
Scarecrow. I don't do horror.
Come on.
I think horror is so hard.
You and Levi and
I think it's so difficult. I think I really respect him from doing a horror and actually making it work because I think horror is super, super difficult for me.
So the other things, okay, so I think a lot of people forget about let's talk about this. Used phones. So I know that you wouldn't want to say, "Oh, get me a used phone," right? But do you know how many people right now are getting new phones? How many moms are out there about to, or probably already did for all I know, get their teenage kid a new phone? And what if they gave you their old phone? Christmas. So there's a thing that happens, Joey, when you go get a new phone, right? Mm-hmm. And you're at the store and they give you the option to turn in your old phone. But if parents are buying them for kids or for girlfriends or friends, or if you're just so lucky someone loves you enough to just buy you an iPhone for whatever reason, most of the time you're not with them to give them the exchange the phone or anything like that. So it's a I'm not kidding you, it's a good time to ask for a used phone. And why do you want used phones, Joey? You know why?
Why?
Because they make excellent other cameras, like second cameras, third cameras. They also come in handy when you've got just a few minutes left and your other camera just died.
Right.
Another thing that comes in handy is they make great little microphones that you carry on your shirt or in your shirt pocket, or you can tape somewhere for sound effects or for video effects if you don't want to put your big phone to, a risk.
Right. I mean, to be honest, I haven't had a new phone since
1973.
No, it's funny because the last new phone I ever had that I bought when it came out was a Nokia 7110. And I don't know, that's because of the Matrix. Right. Long time ago. All of my phones now are Steph's old phones. So she upgrades and I just take the old phone because I used to really, I missed that technology. Everything was tactile.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. But when everything became a smartphone, there's really nothing really interests me anymore.
Yeah, you can't feel the keys or anything. It's just,
right? So I do like iPads though.
There you go.
But then again, I think that's just because I like with the like aside, even though I don't particularly make a lot of like films on a phone, there's a lot of workflow that I use the iPad for with like, with filmmaking and stuff. Because I think that's the thing too, right? Like filmmaking with like your phones and your mobile devices goes beyond just like filming it there too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, look, I want to talk about this topic at some point too, because, we're used to in society, right? This is before some of you guys were born, guys, not to say you're not part of society, I'm just saying. But there used to be, you would go to the store and you would look for, when it came to video cameras, there were like 3 types of video cameras. There was the home video camera for, home people. Had nothing to do professional. There was the prosumer camera, which was basically something that had at least 3 chips for video. And then there was the professional video, right? And 3 of those were broke down in price, right? What they could do, what they were used for, and it came to price, right? It's like, $300 to $2,000. Oh, $2,000 to $10,000. Oh, $10,000 to like $100 million. So you get that. But when smartphones came out with cameras, things changed. All of a sudden there wasn't, and I think the industry is still trying to catch up with this, Joey, where it's like with regular cameras, you still have, your professional, video, for film cameras, right? And filmmaking. And then you have your prosumer ones. And then you just have DSLRs and things like that and GoPros and blah, blah, blah and everything like that. But smartphones are being used for high-end budget films now. And they're labeled, when someone's writing about it on a, like a newspaper even, they will tell you it's a professional camera because of what you can make as far as professional. Professional doesn't mean it starts at Lord of the Rings. Okay, guys, I'm not talking about saying, if it's professional, you should be able to, there's all these check marks next to it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of room going between what a professional film is and, I don't know, Superman or Star Wars or something like that. There's a big spectrum in the middle, in between all that. So it's the first time that where we have cameras that are good for all 3 of those things. They're good for the kids to handle and take photos and little videos. They're great for mom and dad and grandma and whatever, or you and your friends to go film some shots on skateboards or whatever. And they're also good enough for, someone to do video production and charge their client a few $1,000s for a 10-minute video. And they're good enough.
That's true.
Yeah, and they're also good enough for a filmmaker to make a $50 million film. I mean, it's something that I've been thinking about, and I'm going, I think this might be something that we should talk about at some point. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, I know I personally use a lot of my mobile devices for all of the production stuff that is in shooting, right? Yep. Like I definitely use my iPad for as like a slate, my shot list. Like we use it like on set to we have multiple iPads in different, like, like in holding or in staging, so it kind of like, for a smaller production, it replaces like walkie-talkies.
Yes.
For us too. And then plus, having like everybody's able to see an updated, like the shot list or like even like a live feed and stuff like that. We have like this like closed circuit kind of thing, set up that we use our devices for. So yeah, like even just that. I mean, now like there's always, I see like everyone's script now on like iPads, like the script supervisors, like now in Hollywood they have it all on there, so it's you know?
Yeah, you
So
don't need
definitely.
to dangle around. I had this huge stopwatch dangling around my neck. Don't need that anymore.
Mm. Nice.
Just
which
saying.
is which is kind of funny. Actually, recently I met this dude who was a script supervisor for a lot of Hong Kong films,
Wow.
like older ones, right? And it's funny because like talking to him about it, it's like, hey, you know, like first off, like this guy has like a crazy resume,
Yeah.
right? Like his filmography is insane, right? Because he's worked with like, you know,
He's like the
small, like, you know, like
PhD of script supervisors.
yeah, dude. I mean, you know, like back then, like Hong Kong, they were making like, you know, 200 films like a year or something. But he's worked with like, you know, like every director that has been out of China. So everything from like, you know, like very big films, you know, like Red Cliff or something like that, to like, you know, like small, like even Jackie Chan films, like before he got famous, kind of stuff, right? So, I would ask him like, hey, you know, being a script supervisor or being, you know, like then he, you know, he's like an AD and other stuff. But like, I was just asking, like, how did you guys, like, how did you even, how did you script supervise for Hong Kong when I remember hearing stuff where you guys just kind of, you know, like that's kind of like, what do you call it? There's no script really. And he's like, oh, I have to remember everything.
Yeah.
Like I have to remember everything because I have to be the, you know, he's the one that actually keeps the continuity for everything. And it was just funny, like hearing him say that, because like now, you know, like here it's so like with an iPad or you know with your phone, sometimes you could just literally just take a photo of like the
that's what I
setup
had.
of like,
I had
you know,
a digital camera with me that I was taking a lot of photos of. I also had like my own scratch pad because I draw cartoons anyways all the time, and so I would draw things up. It's easier than taking a photo, you know, sometimes. And then also you know, the stopwatch on me, and I would have to time every little thing. Even the things in between have to be timed, you know, and people don't realize those things because everything when you're talking about film is running on time codes, really.
Exactly.
You
right.
know?
And now everything is like, you know, I have like one app that does like 4 of those things, you know, that, and also it's like a clapper, like what, you know, it's also my slate and like, and it automatically updates the shot list for everyone else that's connected to the network. Like, oh yeah, we're on the green, you know, and it's amazing. Like definitely there's like, if it's not being the camera, your mobile phone, like there's so much more you know, things that could be useful. So that's why even if you ask like, oh, I would like a new phone for a filmmaker, then use your old phone and just have those apps and like make your production run smoother for everybody.
And
you know
some of these terms to know what to look for and what they're used for and why you should, you know, find a way to use those specific things. So using old phones and things like that. Also, you know, charger cables, you know, XLR cables, you know, whatever people have. I'm thinking about like, I'm picturing some of you just sitting there and posting, hey, by the way, if you guys have iPhones and charger cables or, you know, Sony phones, whatever, just dream away, guys. Like people are getting new stuff, especially I think there's going to be a little bit of a boost in sales before things go down again because of the whole talk about the taxes and the tariffs and all this stuff. And so people are going to be buying new phones. They're going to be buying stuff like crazy for Christmas. I just have a hunch about that. And so,
or like, you know, Black Friday.
Oh yeah, that's like Cyber literally Mondays, happening like in 2 days, you know.
I'm trying to look for a new sound system so I can edit better.
There you go. A new edit system or a sound system?
No, sound.
Oh, really?
Actually, so another random funny story, another filmmaking story. I heard, like, I read somewhere that the movie Tenet, since it was being edited during COVID or something like that, and how people are complaining how they couldn't hear the dialogue with a lot of people, like it was mixed wrong or something like that. Because apparently the director just likes the music, so he just bumped it, and 2, apparently the person that was the editor was editing on just headphones, like you know, AirPod headphones during the pandemic, and because he couldn't go to like the studio or something. So that's why apparently it was mixed wrong. Or
Oh,
something
that's
like that.
horrible.
I don't believe that.
That's horrible. Well, there's always good excuses. There's a whole book on excuses of why things went wrong on a film set. I'm just kidding, in case somebody out there is like Googling for the book. But the other thing is, find out what your, okay, so offer your OS when you're asking for things, please. Like for example, if you work on an Apple ecosystem, because everything just kind of works well together, make sure you let people know. Make sure you let people know that, like if you have that one aunt that just wants to get you everything for your phone, you know, let her know like certain charger cables don't work with my phone, you know, things like that. By the way, do you remember when we were talking about Claudio Miranda, the Top Gun Maverick DP guy?
Yeah.
So he mentioned the Tilta rig for the iPhone, which is what he was using for it. I'm just wondering if you had heard anything about that, because that might be something nice. I'm not recommending anything that I've never used or that I haven't heard good things about, but I've heard good things about it, but then it just kind of like, I haven't heard that much.
I mean, Tilta makes rigs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I think one of the rigs that I used for our Sony before was like a Tilta kind of thing with like a cage and whatnot, but I didn't. I'm not that type of filmmaker. I need to be more mobile with some of the action stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's
because just so that you guys know, maybe look into Tilta rig and see what they got and see if they're coming down in prices.
Yeah. It's pricey. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that brand right there is very pricey. Also, here's another thing. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I was gonna shout out Zacuto, right? Like, I mean, that's
what I was just gonna do right now. So I'm going to go give our two sponsors for the International Mobile Film Festival a shout out here, because right now, first of all, Zacuto, the Smart Z Finder and the Micro Boom, that's what I use. Okay, that's my go-to. It's in the trunk of my car. I just grab it, slide my phone on there. I'm ready to plug in the mic, and I'm ready to go. Right? It's already assembled. It's like my superhero. So I can recommend that because I use it. That's the reason why. And because I like it. Not just because I use it, but because I like it. And because I like it is why I use it.
Yeah, there's circle of life right there. Yeah.
I feel like I'm starting a rap session here. So that's really an awesome rig. And they're having a sale right now. And also their micro booms, which are, you know, you attach it to your shoe and you can use this for, you know, DSLRs or other cameras too. And they just come out with one for XLRs so that you basically attach to your camera. And so you don't need you don't need to be an octopus like I was when I was using my shotgun boom and all that stuff. So the other one is Film Convert Nitrate and Cinematch. Those are on sale, I believe. And they just came out with the iPhone 16 Pro camera pack. I'm going to read to you because I don't want to mess this up. Who Film Convert is. They are a New Zealand-based software company that makes powerful, easy-to-use color grading tools for all filmmakers, available for Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, and Final Cut Pro. Which one do you have, Joey?
I use Premiere.
You use Premiere. So one of the things that Film Convert does is it has camera packs for all kinds of different cameras, so that you can use those to match your camera, right? Or maybe some footage that came out from another camera. You know, you can use that to kind of try and match more of the other, camera, the main camera that you were using. And they also do color grading, and all kinds of stuff. And they're really good. A lot of video producers and filmmakers and for song music videos and, just they're very popular. So that's Film Convert. They're on our website if you go to the sponsors page on the website. Anyways, and Zacuto. Now, I use the Rode Video Micro shotgun little compact mounted microphone with my microboom mic. And I actually bought that a long time ago here in San Diego, and I rarely ever used it. But ever since I got that Zacuto Smart Z phone there, I've been using it, especially with the microboom. I just love that thing.
Oh,
obviously,
yeah,
it's like Lucky Charms. So that's what I'm using. But I prefer as a brand, and I've talked to many audio people about this too, is Audio-Technica is my go-to brand. And even their not so expensive microphones are still really good compared to the other ones that are about the same price or even a little more expensive. Of the same kind of mic, obviously. I would also ask for a new Zoom recorder.
Oh, okay. Those are pretty good.
Because I'm always telling people now for video and video production and stuff, yeah, you could do it on the phone. But I think that for the cinematic effect of audio, it should be done externally if you can. And get some some sound mixer guys there. Guys or girls, whatever.
Right, like a dedicated sound. Yeah. No, that's definitely like an important part too. Like it makes your picture. People, if you guys don't really realize it, just great sound makes your visuals better. Like people don't realize it.
They don't.
It took me a while for me to realize it too.
It can save a mistake with video too. You don't know what I mean, but I'm just saying, like, creatively.
That's why the sound design is there too afterwards.
No one will notice. No one will notice. Oh, well, okay. If we have great sound, maybe no one will.
True. Yeah, that seems like. Yeah, I guess I would want that too. Yep. I would want a lot. I just want a sound dude. Like, I just want a sound specialist to be part of my team now.
Can we just buy one and put him in a box?
I know, right?
Let her come out later, I
have to find one every time, and I just want to, indoctrinate somebody to the group.
I wonder if there's a Ken and Barbie filmmaker crew people, that you can. There's an idea.
Ken and Barbie.
Remember how Ken and Barbie were super big last year because of the movie? It's like crew people, filmmaking crew people. You have your grip. You have your production supervisor, your script supervisor, all that stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. It's a lot of networking, like working with repeated people to build that up, I know there's certain people I like working with all the time, but
it usually the people that work well together are the people that you want to have on your team.
Oh, all the time.
Because even if you don't get along, like you're not their chum buddy, it's still good to have them around. Good vibes. Good vibes. What about reflectors? I felt bad the other day that I didn't throw mine in my car. I could have. I really should have. I've got this reflector. It's just sitting here. The problem with reflectors is that unless you have, C-stands or something, it's very hard to find a way to hold them up.
Well, yeah,
that's really what it comes down to. I used to grab people, or if I was shooting an interview at a school or something, I'd ask a kid, "Hey, you want to help us? Hold this reflector." And the kid's got a bigger grin than the reflector and the sun put together,
Yeah, that's one way to not pay people.
Right? You want to be in this? But yeah, that's the only thing. Because we were shooting inside and we had a lot of light, but you could always use a reflector. Right. Wasn't enough, shade.
I think for Yeah, definitely for me, I think I've used more negatives than I've ever had bouncers or reflectors or anything like that, which I thought was funny.
That's funny. Is there anything else you can think of?
I mean, we kind of ran the gamut there of like accessories to add to the phone. I mean, unless you stick the phone on a
Headphones.
drone, right? Like,
We were just talking about headphones.
might as well go with the sound
Yeah,
system.
might as well go.
Because like in all
But
honesty,
you
I
do
think
need good headphones, especially when you're on set.
oh yeah, definitely. When like random times when
When they say quiet
I'm
on the
being asked to
set,
put together.
that doesn't mean the whole world is going to shut up. You know?
Right.
So, but you do need good headphones to know what's coming from where and when it is. Because like right now, the headphones that I'm wearing right now, they completely seal. Like I can hear you and me for the most part, but I can't hear that much out here other than that because the headphones are sealed.
If it's like an in-ear bud
Not
kind
an
of thing?
in-ear, over-ear. But also, if you're going to get a set of headphones, might as well ask for one that has a good long cord so that if you use it, if you're going to use it, you know, for shotgun, mic, boomstick, and all of that, you need it to be far enough to be close enough to where you need to grab the sound to where the camera is. Sometimes that's like 20 feet, you know? So do that. and that, so I mean that so obviously you want that for the microphone, the cable, but I'm talking about the one for the headphones because you go with it.
That's
I'm laughing because I can't tell you how many film sets I've been on and the sound person walks away with the boom, you know what I mean, to get closer and bloop, and they leave their headphones pop off because of that. So,
yeah.
Okay.
That's
I know.
funny.
How about you guys? What do you guys maybe wish, you know, it would be nice to know if you kind of care and see us on social media or something, just kind of say, hey, Susie, we found this. Would like to ask for this. I'm sure some people would like to ask for that. You're on YouTube a lot, Joey. Are there any really good YouTube tutorial people that actually you think are there any good ones out there that, you know?
I mean, I think, well, obviously there's like, I do believe there's a lot of, you know, I think classic stuff that people could look at when in terms of like, you know, learning basic filmmaking stuff, you know, like there's like Film Riot and all the million film channels out there that teach like film stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't looked at that stuff in a very long time. Just because like I think once you have general knowledge, and if you know work on your craft and you know exactly kind of what you're doing, you tend to develop and evolve in a particular way that might be, you know, not like it'd be much more specific to what you want rather than, you know, something that you're going to learn from somebody that's already teaching you something that you know, right? You know, like you know, there a lot of channels teach you, oh yeah, here's like 3-point lighting, and these are the equipments that I would use, but I haven't really looked at things like that recently.
That's funny. I was always told about 3-point lighting and learned it and all that stuff. But when it came down to when I shot interviews, and they always came out nice, and it was like, it was 2-point lighting. It was like, it was using 2 lights, right? And the one in the back bouncing off the top on the ceiling. And then it kind of faked the 3-point lighting in a way.
Right. I mean, there's many ways, like, you know, that's just like a general thing, right? Because like I have my own system that I've been doing too. So, you know, like.
And once you learn it, if it works, and you're like, okay, fine, good. I don't have to fiddle with this so much the next time.
Right. Because like part of it, I mean, it's kind of weird. I learned lighting through photography. And one of the people I learned from, Susie Kim, she used to be an editor for Playboy, or a photographer, like a senior photographer and editor for Playboy. And like I was like learning from her.
Learning something from you every day, Joey.
This wasn't like, I wasn't doing Playboy. It was like at a studio.
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey man, how do I shoot myself? Like, or like, hey, I have these like speed lights and I can't get things to work,
Right.
and they're just super nice people.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Networking is the best
yeah.
because, people who like to teach stuff like to teach stuff, basically. And just, like I've gone to show somebody, I'm really bad with math, right? But I've gone to show somebody how to do a math problem that I wasn't even sure I knew at the time. And then by the end of it, I got it. And it was because I was the one teaching it. It is so weird. It's such a weird thing.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much like a thing that happens. You are, once you're able to verbalize and explain it, I think you get to understand it more because you kind of create a system for yourself. Yeah, definitely. That makes sense.
Okay. What would you, if you had a filmmaker friend, Joey, you love this filmmaker friend, and they said, I'm thinking about making a movie with a phone. I've already got the newest iPhone. So-and-so already told me they got it for me.
Right.
What would you say? What would you want to get them first? Not really the most important thing, but what would you want to get them first for Christmas?
But they already have a phone. Like, I would be like, hey man, you need the motivation to do it. Like, I think because ultimately, like, the phone really, that's like, how do I say it? It bypasses a lot of obstacles in making a film, right? Because like that's why even when we were listing a lot of things, what would you want for Christmas for your for filmmaking? It's like everything that we're saying is just an addition to make your phone film something specifically better, right? But ultimately it doesn't make the film, right? I don't think there is anything that is really needed up front if somebody were to shoot like a movie with their phone until they come into a very specific problem for their particular style or genre, right? Like maybe somebody might need like a phone gimbal, or maybe somebody might need like a rig. Who knows, right? So that's why like I wouldn't be able to. So the first thing I would say, hey, what kind of film are you doing? And let's do it.
Yeah.
And then once we find out the problem, that's I get you a gift card for apps.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Useful.
Maybe for apps for editing and things like that, just to help you get started. Because I think the storytelling part is that layer that runs parallel to while you're shooting. I mean, you have that shot list and all that stuff, but let's get real with people who are not going to do that. Okay. You got a basic idea for a movie, this happens and that happens and things got really rough. And then maybe everybody dies and then Joe comes along and saves the day.
Everyone just dies. Yeah.
No, and then, all right. And then Stephanie comes through with a bunch of what is that? Posties for Crafties? What it was?
Crafties?
The Crafties meal?
Crafties.
It's just Crafties?
Yes.
I thought you had it was a 2-worded thing.
For what?
For feeding your crew.
Oh yeah, it's craft. Well, I mean, Crafties is just a Crafties table.
No, I know, but you had one yourself that you guys.
We call it Crafties for cheap because I want to teach filmmakers. Hey man, you need a budget. Feed your people. Come on, it'll make I'm pretty sure for people that are making films and you guys are brand new. You guys aren't. You guys don't have a budget and you're not paying your friends and family. So please feed them. At least.
So if you have that. Right? That simple story, right? And then all you really need is to start constructing that story. Even as you're shooting it out of sequence and all that stuff, it's to keep that story in your brain. And I think it's really good to just get, even if it's just an app on the phone, just to sequence, put some sequences together and start getting used to how easy it is to manipulate your story just by shifting around some shots, you know?
Mhm.
So I would say that's kind of important. Obviously, so is audio, things like that, and all this stuff. But I would say just getting those two for somebody could do a lot,
Right.
you know? Like they've
Agreed.
already got the phone. And intimidate them, inspire them to make a movie, offer some content. Hey, I make a good, I don't know what, dog catcher, and I'll chase your dog and we'll make a movie right now. We'll call it a Disney movie.
There we go. That works.
Oh, gosh. Well, speaking of that, I mean, I think we pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like we ran the gamut of anything possible there. So extra accessories, rigs, apps. I mean, you know, the phone is very, very versatile in filmmaking. And let us know what you guys want. Like, just like give us ideas. Maybe we.
It's a holiday. Have some fun, Joey.
I am definitely going to get food right after this.
Oh, that reminds me. I should have eaten something today.
You should. You definitely should.
I did have that coffee. Guys, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving and all that. But in all seriousness, thank you so much for listening to the show and sharing it, and stay in touch. You can, get in touch with us anytime, tag us, and ask any questions from Joey or myself. And get ready for the next holiday for another turkey.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you so much for coming today, Joey.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah. Say goodbye to our listeners.
All right. See you guys.